himself as a depicted. Well, it was a religious kind of symbol, and he's saying it's not Jesus Christ. Many people actually are confused by who Trump was portraying or saying that he was going to be. But actually, he was not depicting with Jesus Christ. This is not a picture of Jesus Christ. Well, obviously, it's not. But a lot of people forget what actually happened. President Trump went into office under the auspices and the rulership or the spirit of the Antichrist, which is the other God, right? So we're going to talk about that today. It wasn't Jesus Christ, it was the other God, right? So, hey, if you are new to our broadcast, welcome to our broadcast, Coffee with Jesus. I'm Vincent Rose, your host. Subscribe to this channel, and again, let's hit the bell notification, as we'll be hitting a lot more videos like this. Today we're going to be talking about the golden age, which President Trump was actually going after. He was going after the golden age, and that was what he was really representing to the world. He was the actual image, or coming in the actual image of the sun god Apollo. And it was his intention to bring healing, just like Apollo did in that particular golden age, or the golden era, in which he's been talking about over and over again. He said that. But again, if you want to research it, go and research it. Check it out. It's all out there in the in the archives of knowledge that we have here. Apollo is often associated as the sun god, or the god of light, or with sun and light. His myth states that he's returning at the end of the days. He's going to return at the end of the days. The Greek mythology, Apollo is primarily known as the god of music, but get this, he is a figure who is a god of healing. So he's a god who brings healing. And that's what we have with President Trump. President Trump was depicting Apollo, which is one of the symbols that he has in his archive, or he has that all throughout Trump Tower, images of Apollo. So this was what he really was doing. And so he was right when he said that, I wasn't really depicting Jesus Christ. I was actually something else. That's what he was really saying. And it made everybody, the people who were Trump apologists, they go out, and of course they saw it as Jesus Christ, because a lot of people only know of Jesus Christ. They don't know about the esoteric history, or the esoteric doctrines of a lot of these people who are Freemasons, and who are people who worship another God. These people worship another God. There is another God in which they are worshiping. So this whole idea behind this golden age was to bring, or introduce, the one who would come bringing healing, and that new person that would be bringing healing would obviously be, they are saying Apollo, right? And this is what they really were saying, that Apollo is going to come at the end of the days, and he is going to bring a new golden age. And so this is being covered on the news, however, falsely thinking that Trump was depicted as Jesus Christ. Let's go over and check out the news and see what they have to say about it. Because, again, everybody kind of looks at this the same, and they all are seeing this as an appearance of Trump appearing to act like Jesus. Let's go and let's see if we can pick this up.
Donald Trump defending his decision to post an AI-generated image on social media.
Yeah, the now deleted post received a lot of criticism, with many saying it appeared to depict the president as Jesus. And Good Day's Alex Whitler is at the Fox 5 Live desk to break all this down for us. Alex?
Yeah, good morning. That AI-generated image the president posted triggered a wave of criticism, but he's doubling down on his decision to post it, saying the media is largely to blame for the response the photo received. So if by chance you haven't seen it, here it is again. It shows the president president in a white robe with his hand on what appears to be a sick man's head. The president confirmed he personally posted the image on Truth Social, but says he thought it portrayed him as a doctor.
I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, "How did they come up with that?" It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better, and I do make people better.
Well, after all the criticism, the president removed the picture from Truth Social. This all happening amid a public back and forth with Pope Leo, with the president now saying he will not apologize for how he's reacted to the Pope's criticism of the war with Iran.
Okay, so this whole idea behind President Trump coming out as a depiction of Jesus, it looks like he's Jesus. But again, what we know in terms of the background about a lot of these people is that these people who are in these cults, they actually worship a different god. They worship the sun god, Ra. They worship the sun god, Apollo. And this is one of the doctrines that they have as one of the major things that they believe in, that Apollo is going to come at the end of days. And when Apollo does come, he will bring healing. So this is one of the things right here when it comes down. If you go and look it up, you will be able to see that that's true. But here's the crazy thing about it is that a lot of gaslighting is going on, because Apollo is actually the Antichrist. It is the Christ that will come instead of Christ, right? So this will be the war that goes on between the Antichrist and the Christ, right? So the Christ and the Antichrist, they're setting up for this war, this battle that they're going to have in order to bring the new age of the golden age. And these people really believe that these gods are going to protect them, that these ancient gods that are from other dimensions are going to actually protect them. In some way, they believe that these gods will be able to rule over the earth and bring in a new golden age. They do believe that, as strange as it sounds, that there is going to be another God that's going to defend them from Jesus Christ. And when Jesus comes, they are going to have the battle of Armageddon, and that this is basically what is going to be over. Again, the Bible says that the kings of the earth have met together, and they have hatched a very foolish plan to bring about a new world order. This is in Psalms chapter 2, this new world order that they're going to create. They're going to throw off the bands of God Almighty, and they're going to make their own gods, and they're going to worship those gods on this earth, in this earth realm. And you remember Jesus said that, well, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be when the Son of Man returns. That when I return, there will be a lot of people worshiping these false gods, these Nephilim, these fallen angels, these spirits. And so that's what's happening now. We have a lot of people who are in the occult world worshiping these Nephilim, these evil spirits, these gods that come from, the other dimension. In the higher realms, obviously, these people are making contact and communication with these gods. It's a very strange thing to hear from virgin ears, Christian ears, because we think, well, every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus is Lord, right? And we don't obviously believe that there's going to be anybody foolish enough that's going to actually stand up to the living God, Jesus Christ, coming from eternity. But for some reason, these people, they really believe it. They really believe in this gods of the ancient Egyptians, the gods of Babylon. They believe in the gods of, the Dagons, these gods have not gone anywhere. They were in the ancient biblical world. And if you go to Rome, and again, like I said, I said this over and over again. If you go to Rome, you will see that even in Rome, at the place in Rome where you can go and see all the art, the Vatican's art museum, they have pictures of all of the gods that are worshipped by the ancient deified people, the people who actually worship these deities, these priests. They have all of them really just lined up in the Vatican. You won't see any pictures of Jesus Christ. And if you do, it's going to be him hanging on a cross with a spear in his side. But they're not going to show you a glorified image of Jesus Christ. They're going to show him very miserable looking. But then they show all of these pictures of these fish gods. And Diana is accurately portrayed as the multi-breasted god. And then, of course, they have Apollo and all of those gods if you go into that. And so, yeah, so Donald Trump is the 45th president and the 47th president. 4 plus 5 equals 9, and 4 plus 7 equals 11. So he is also associated with 9/11. And 9/11 has to do with, you guessed it, Brother Dale, Apollyon. Apollyon is the god that comes from the bottomless pit. And this god will rule according to the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 11, 9/11. So 9/11, they have a god that rules over them, and that God's name is Apollyon. And he is the destroyer. He will come from the bottomless pit. So they are waiting on this god, Apollo. And they've been doing it for a long time because the Apollo space missions and all of the things that have deceived us as human beings have been in operation for a very long time. And they just continue to just push this in our face. I mean, they're telling us, again, Apollo is going to bring the golden age. And when Apollo is released from the bottomless pit, all of the kings of the earth who have been conjuring him in their robes and in their secret ceremonies, they've been having seances and communicating with these gods. All of them will be standing around waiting for their God to come out of that bottomless pit, and they're going to worship him. They're going to stand before him and try to worship this God who is supposedly the real God. And they, again, who is the God that tries to take the place of God? Lucifer, right? The light bearer, the one who comes to bring light. And so they are saying that Apollo, Lucifer, Apollyon, this God of ancient days is going to arrive on the earth. He's going to come bringing light. And the Bible already has told us that if any other God comes from any other direction, you shall not worship any other God or have any other God before me. But this is what the evil people are doing. The lawless ones are doing. They ultimately worship another God. They hope that this God will save them. So anyway, Paul Grigger, hello, how are you doing across the seas or across the sea over there? And Dale, hello again, and Ryan and everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining in with us to discuss this, because it is disgusting, right? It's quite disgusting that Trump would come out of a bag like this and then show himself. Well, he was just really showing his true colors, wasn't he? He was really just showing his true colors. He was coming out. And I think what happened is that this was a test too. It was a test. And I think what he wanted to do, it was test to find out whether or not people are that stupid. You know, are they that dumb that they would allow him to just come out and do something so egregious that, you know, it's also a test to see just, you know, how much can I get away with? How much will they take? You know, will they let me get away with this? And if they do, then I know I can really, you know, I can really do some things. If they continue, if the MAGA continue to let me get away with this, and that's what MAGA seems to be doing. I mean, I saw a guide today, and it was on my Instagram. I think it might have been. I don't know if I got it. Sometimes I try to. Sometimes I try to do a you know, saving of these videos, and then of course there's all sorts of things that happens when these videos are saved and that kind of thing. So I did try to save it on my Instagram, but either way, I'm just saying that it's pretty amazing that again there was one person that was trying to defend Trump, and he was an avid supporter of Trump. And I'm trying to think of his name. What is his name? His name is David Harris, I think. And he came out, and boy, he was really just standing up, telling everybody that Trump is a good man and all of this kind of thing. Well, let me see what Tatum is on here trying to defend Trump as well. I think they got Tatum on here. They got all these other people. Let's go over here and see what Officer Tatum has to say. I'm wondering when these people are going to jump off the Trump train, or when they're going to actually stand up for righteousness and do the right thing. I mean, I know that they make quite a bit of money, you know, when it comes to these, you know, supporting Trump. So I don't know what Officer Tatum is going to say, but he might just fold and just say, you know, yeah, we're going to go along with whatever Trump is doing too, you know. So I don't know. Let's find out what Tatum has to say. Let me see.
Now, I don't know if I agree to that, what he just said. I don't know if he's trying to save face or he really believed that. To me, it looked like the healer, Jesus, the healer, that healed people and all this other stuff. It does have the American flag in it and everything, so clearly this is not totally a religious thing, because Jesus ain't got really nothing to do with an American flag. You know, there was no American flag when Jesus was healing people on earth. But I will say this too, for all the people that get so open arms about this stuff, I do think that it is off-colored a little bit for Trump to do this. But I think people also forget that there's a lot of other people in the Bible, and I know this is not depicted as Jesus, I think it is, but there's a lot of other people in the Bible that healed and did miracles and a lot of other great things. And I can see how Trump could have a parallel of saying it's one person that's doing these great things. You know, most of us, if we actually read our Bible, we should be doing miracles too. We should be healing, laying hands on people. We should be doing all kinds of.
Okay, all right. So you guys being gaslighted enough here with Officer Tatum and this type of stuff. I mean, you know, these people, I think really what's happening now is that think about, you know, and I'm not political. I really don't believe in Obama. I don't believe in Kamala or Kamula. Oh, I'm not following any of these people, guys. Some of you guys are going to get on me and say, well, he did this with Obama. No, guys, calm down. If Obama had done this, then a lot of criticism would come from the right. If Trump does this, then obviously a lot of criticism comes from the left. I think the thing is that there is no left and the right. I think what we're really looking at is major deception, a uniparty doing the same thing. Everybody's doing the same thing. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to lure us into this apostate form of Christianity which really is not about Christ at all. Now, again, I just attended the university. My son was thinking about going to the theological university in Fort Worth, and so I don't know. He just wants to go to get some more, go to a university. So I said, well, okay, if that's what you want to do, but remember, you don't get brainwashed. And so he said, well, you come along with me. And I came along with him, and I sat down and listened to the professors talk. And the one thing I had to ask these professors, I told them, I said, is this university political? Are you going to be teaching about politics? And are you going to try to make a politics part of your religious curriculum? And they said, no, they're not going to do that. But at the same time, they had Turning Point USA as one of the people who has one of their rooms and that kind of thing. I think that they're using Christianity to they're trying to use Christianity as a power base so that they can do the things that they are doing without letting us know that the true gods that they're really worshiping. They're worshiping the sun god. They're worshiping all of these deities, Saturnalia, Saturn, Saturday. They're worshiping Moon Day. They're worshiping Thursday, Thor's Day. They worship these gods, and then they put these gods in our TV shows and your X-Men and all of the various things. And they do all of this right in your face. They do all of this right in your face. Everything that we watch on TV is all about programming. You have Columbia Pictures, all of that. You have everything that we have. We're seeing the lady with the torch and everything. The Statue of Liberty, another image of Apollo. And so we have all of these people secretly worshiping in an underground cult kind of reality alongside the Christian doctrine. Every church has on the roof of the church, they have a steeple. Now the steeple looks like a steeple, but what is it really? It's an obelisk. It's an obelisk in front of the Washington Monument, and there's an obelisk all around the world, but especially at the Vatican, and there's an obelisk on every church that's an old style church. So we're looking at them worshiping their sun god, and these ancient Babylonian gods are coming back at us, and they are using Christianity to slide it in there. And so they ride alongside the doctrines of Christianity. As Jesus said, he wants purity in the church. He come for a church without spot nor blemish. But what has happened is that the church has been corrupted with the world, and the world and the church had been mixed together. That's what Jesus was talking about when he said the kingdom of heaven is like a sneaky housewife who takes some dough and then takes a little leaven and puts it inside the dough and mixes it all together. And that's exactly what's happening. Anyway, guys, I wanted to share this with you. Share the video, subscribe if you're new, and like the channel and everything. And then also hype the video as well so that it gets viewed by more people. Anyway, I'll be talking to you guys a little bit later. I pray that God blesses you today and your families.